I know I already made a video and this was in it, but I think it was a more general video of the yard. So I'm gonna do a quick video of this guy. Obviously it's still mounted. There's always a chance that we're gonna see something when we pull the frame from the tub, but this should give us a good idea, and we'll allocate that or kind of adjust the price for in case there is something like that. But just know pre-dismantle videos, you're already saving a decent amount. We do discount them based on you taking a chance. The chance is great because it's not really it's not a risk on your part, because if it comes back bad, like worse than we thought it was going to be, then we just refund it. So it just allows us to cash flow our business, which we've done for 18 years. It's worked well. It basically means that instead of we just willy-nilly taking apart this when we have so much other stuff to do out here, it prioritizes it and then puts it on the lift, gets it broke down to completion, and then we get a final set of photos and a video and send over to you, get final approval. If at that time there's something that shows up that we didn't see, we can adjust price down further if it's something that's even worth doing. And if it comes back good, everything is what we thought it was going to be or close to, or if it's even better, you're still locked in at the price that we put it at. So Jeremy here, 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com, jeepsunlimited.net is our legacy website. That's was the site, been around since the 90s. We've been around since 84. So all right, so a couple things. I had a guy call. I'm going to go and send him this video as well, because this is not one I can cut, but if it's something you're interested in buying the tub from us, then by all means. But he was wanting the dash, and these dashes are a little bit unique to these Commandos, Jeepsters. They're formed into the tub. So yes, they're not necessarily formed, they're, you know, welded in, but pinch weld. They're not something easily to pull. You can't just unbolt them. So if you're wanting a dash, your best bet would be to find probably a wrecked one if you can find one. They're just, the problem with these is there weren't a ton of them made, and they've been out for so long that most of the ones that were out there are gone. So, you know, something to keep in mind. If you haven't found anything, this is definitely a possibility. So we haven't, obviously, and this is another thing, we'll get it cleaned out completely, get all the mouse shit out of it. But the floors are actually pretty solid in this thing. It's got a couple little bubbles you start seeing coming up here underneath seat brackets area here. So maybe a floor partial replacement here, or just fix these patches. This is all plastic. That's pretty broke anyway, so just get that pulled to show you a little bit of flake in there, but not too bad. The seam's starting to separate right here, and then that actually looks pretty good, but I assume we're going to see the exact same there. So just let's put that in. And then you got this plastic insert on both sides where they had a speaker, and that's something you got to see, because they cut that and they did it, I don't know where, this almost looks like people had a punch. It so cracks me up when they cut speaker holes. They're always like that. They're so jagged and rough. So we'll take that into consideration on pricing. The mount vac here definitely has a little filler. You can tell it's starting to crack a little bit. It doesn't look like a lot. This is pretty solid, actually. Not much we can probably see over here. Well, that gives it away right there. That's definitely not factory. So they reinforced this with not only wood behind it, but with a piece of steel plate. And so this crack is likely not actually filler. If you notice, this is about the size of this plate here. And matter of fact, we're gonna have a Jeepster guy in the yard here that's really good at these, so I'll have to ask him. But my guess is that's just the amount of weight that this putting on this. So that should be redone, at least fixed, re-supported, if you're gonna be running that. The tailgate, for the moment, I'll include that in this listing, but just know if the ad gets updated and it says no tailgate, that means the tailgate is sold. But for now, tailgate, the hinges, okay, these guys are hard to find, the latches on the back, okay. There is a decent amount of rust in the back of this guy, about 2.5, 3 inches in, right about there, and all the way back. And you can see it real bad through here. There's that seam. This is actually even a little crinkled here from some body work or something that got put back here. Who knows, maybe too overloaded. So definitely some work involved at the very tail end of this guy. And let's see the extent of this guy, if you can see back in here. So yeah, so definitely this doesn't look too bad through here, but the floor is definitely beat up pretty bad. And then even the tailgate's got a little bit on the bottom area there that they pinch weld, all that stuff. So this looks like it can probably be cleaned up. Gasket's toast on that guy, so we'll go ahead and yank that out of the way, see if there's anything else we're seeing down there. And so when it comes completely apart, we have a 4,500 PSI hot seat, 300 degrees, and that will blow. It's not a sandblaster, but it will help us, like stuff like this. You know, this might turn into bigger holes when we hit this hard. Just kind of help you, show you the extent of it. So, but again, we're showing you that. That's not something we're expecting to see anything more. It's pretty, you know, it's pretty rough in that area as is. So the price will definitely take into account for this. And if it's something you can still use, then by all means. And if not, if it's worse than you got, then totally understand that. Most of the time, these tubs are, West Coast tubs are usually usable enough, especially with the front being in pretty good shape. So, okay, we got the same thing up through here we showed you earlier. This stuff out of the way. That floor is actually really solid there. The same spots coming up under the seat brackets right there. And then this is in better shape, but I'm sure we're gonna see something behind that guy. The tunnel's nice and clean. This floor, this whole front of this thing, I would give it like almost a B+, low A, all the way from the front to about the rear wheel well. And then the tail end of it is where you're starting to see not only some rust bubbles coming up, some seams cracking there, where the body's starting to separate a little bit, and a lot of that body work there. And then of course your tire carrier. So if you happen to have a back end, although the back end on this one's well within salvaging, corners are nice on it. It's got a couple dings down here. The lower rocker's pretty clean. Got a little bit of damage there. This corner is pretty clean. So, and this is insignificant compared to what it could be. So let's look at the lower rockers. I've seen a little bit of rust bubbling up right there. So this will probably blow through a little bit. But the rest of that, absolutely beautiful. Although we have no rock rash. The door sills are nice and clean. Broken bolts you'll have to extract out of here, top and bottom. And let's see if I can get you a little bit of a shot. Okay, so there's your, actually the bottom looks better than the top in those areas that we were looking around that seat bracket, so that doesn't bleed all the way through. Okay. Now obviously I have front axle, rear axle. Should be the centered 44. Flanged. Nope, this is a two-piece. That's right, because the year of it. They did the flanged in 72, 75. So this has got a two-piece 44 in it, which to somebody rebuilding one, it's worth something, but to most, people are usually upgrading them to the one piece. All right, and then the frame on this guy, I'm not gonna go too much into that right now, but it does look like it's got a tank under there. Frame looks like it's decent. And again, lower rocker, seal's good. No broken bolts in the upper. One out here and then two here. To extract, your cowling is got a couple cracks up here toward your hood hinge. So this has probably been folded back and pressed down. Looks like both sides, so that'll need to be get out from underneath of it and push that back up. A little hard to see other than the cracking in it, but it does look like it's a little dished down a little bit there and there. Okay. And then the firewall looks pretty factory. I don't see too many battle wounds or gashes or gauge. So it looks like a little bit in this quarter here. Got a little bit of rust in that area there, maybe up in that seam. Still very usable though. For as many as we've had, I'd say and as long as I've been doing this, which is about 18 years, I probably have 7 or 8 of these that are in this shape or better. So not many. The frame is completely hodgepodge at the front, and looks like they were trying to do something different with the steering. You see how they cut the engine mount there. This probably had raw steering on it one time, which if you know what raw steering is where the box is down at the base here. And they put this out to the Saginaw style. Definitely probably steered better, but they definitely hodgepodged it together. It would have been a much cleaner route to do this. This is definitely not it, but I'm sure it functioned for what they were using it for. So closed knuckles. All right, that's a front 27 axle, and then the two-piece on the 44. So we're talking probably like a 66, 67, 68, somewhere in there. And I think that's it. Okay, questions, comments, concerns, give me a shout. 303-666-9020. I'll get this guy posted on the website. Again, it'll be listed pre-dismantle. So if the pricing, if somebody doesn't end up with a deposit on it and it does end up coming apart and it ends up being as good as we're showing or better, you may see about a $500 spike in the price on it. So it's definitely worth $500 to you if it is to put a deposit. Deposits are $150. That'll get your name on it and get it pulled apart. And then again, if everything checks out the way it looks, then we'll collect the balance on it, get it shipped to your door. If it doesn't check out, we'll adjust the price down if it's something you're even willing or wanting to do anymore. And if you're not, then we'll just cancel it out and refund it. So pretty much no risk on your part, just a little bit of time. Looks like Jerry's gonna need a hand. 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com. And I appreciate it. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you guys later.